The Pledge of Allegiance was written in 1892, and it was originally stated as, "I pledge allegiance to my flag and the republic for which it stands, one nation, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all." In 1923, the flag of the United States was added, and in 1954, "Under God" was added. The Pledge of Allegiance is a way to show pride and patriotism towards your country, and it also acknowledges what men and women in the armed forces have done for us. I believe everyone should stand for the Pledge of Allegiance for that reason, and because of my belief, it is upsetting to see people seated and not standing for it. So I decided to go out and speak with others to learn why.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
The reason why I didn't stand up is, as a Hispanic student, it's just we don't have as much equal rights as we do like for other people, and I have respect for this country and everything. I just don't feel the need to stand up.
No, that makes sense. And then
Yeah.
thank you for your opinion. So why don't you stand for the Pledge of Allegiance?
Okay, so I don't stand for the Pledge of Allegiance because most people will say that like it shows pride and honor, but I don't have pride or honor for this like country. Like it's full of hate and discrimination and racism and all that just garbage that I can't get behind. So like I don't agree with anything. I don't agree with most of the views of our country, so that's why I don't stand.
What do you think about kids not standing for the things like the Pledge of Allegiance and the national anthem?
Well, I think it's their choice. It's their opinion. It's not hurting anyone. So it's
Peaceful protest
yeah,
type
it's
of
a
thing?
peaceful protest. Yeah.
For sure. So do you think schools should be able to take disciplinary action against kids who don't do that or make them stand up for it? Even if they don't say it or put their hand over their heart, do you think they should still at least stand up for it?
No. If it's their choice, it's what they want to do, it's what they want to do.
I stand for the Pledge of Allegiance to show pride and respect for my country and the people who protect it. I stand because we live in a country with rights and freedoms that some other countries don't have, and it's just overall the right thing to do to show that respect. I have my own reasons, but I wanted to see if other people had any different reasons in standing for the pledge and what those reasons were. Usually standing right here when they start saying the Pledge of Allegiance, kind of looking over the cafeteria, correct?
That is correct.
All right. Do you see a lot of kids like not standing up and just kind of walking and not minding it at
See
all?
a lot of kids walking, talking, sitting down, being disrespectful, not standing up. You know, as security, you can just ask them to stand up and, you know, be respectful, but we're only limited to do stuff with the children in the building. You know, we can't tell them you got to stop, pay respect to the Pledge Allegiance, pay respect to the flag and stuff like that, because every time we try to do something, mommy and daddy's on the phone calling in and backing up their kids, so it just makes a big old conflict, and we're in the dean's office or we're in the principal's office talking about how come the kid was yelled at for being disrespectful to the flag.
So do you wish that you could take more of a disciplinary action towards that?
If I could, I would. I wish I could.
Being law enforcement, what does the Pledge of Allegiance mean to you?
Pledge of Allegiance to me is a statement of respect for a flag and some nationality and some pride in your country.
All right, for sure. And then when you see kids like kind of walking during it or just sitting it down, like what do you think about that?
You know, everybody has that choice. What I request is at least people stop. If you don't want to recite it, that's your right. But I do ask that people at least stop in the hall and show respect to everybody else.
For sure.
That is saying the Pledge of Allegiance.
So do you think the school should be able to take some sort of like disciplinary action or something to get them to stop or to stand, or?
I guess my take on it is it's kind of a personal decision, and we have to really decide how big a deal is it to us. And we can't fight every battle. We have to pick and choose what's important to us. It would be my preference that everybody did it, but on the other hand, it's not the biggest deal in the world to me that I want to make a World War III out of it.
Yeah, definitely. All right. Well, thank you for the interview. Thank you for your opinion.
Thanks.
What do you think about kids who, during the Pledge of Allegiance, just kind of sit down, don't say it, or just keep on walking while it's being said?
So I think it's super disrespectful, and they have no reason for it. It still bothers me. I don't really care whether they say it or not, but they should have enough respect for their country to at least stand up and, it still bothers me if they don't say it, but it's not the end of the world.
So why does it bother you?
It's just a respect thing. Like, this country, especially at high schools, nothing's really happened to them. There's no reason they gotta disrespect the flag like that, you know?
For sure. And so do you think the school should be able to take a certain disciplinary action for kids who aren't standing, or to like try to make them stand?
I think that kind of falls on the teachers. Like, I think they should kind of ask if, like, you know, in a respectful way, just be like, hey, do you mind standing just for this real quick, or, you know?
For sure. All right, well, thank you for the interview. When you see kids not standing for the Pledge of Allegiance and just kind of like things like the national anthem and things like that, like, what do you think about that?
My own personal thought is it's disrespectful that they should stand at the Pledge of Allegiance or during national anthem or whatever. I mean, that's always been that way. It's respect for the country, the flag, and everything. And it's just ROTC they won't get away with not.
For sure.
But everybody should, I think.
All right, and then so do you think the school should be able to take a certain disciplinary action to try to get them to stand for the pledge?
I wish they could, but I doubt if they would or
Okay.
could. I doubt if they could.
Okay,
I mean, because everybody, it's, you know, they're right.
for sure.
But I still think it's disrespectful. But it's still they're right. So, and I respect that, and that's why I was in the military too, to protect that right. One of them. So,
Definitely. All right, well, thank you for your point of view.
okay, all right.
Thank you for
No
the
problem.
interview.
All right, thanks.
Being retired military and even retired law enforcement, what does the Pledge of Allegiance mean to you?
The Pledge of Allegiance to me is a historical thing. Too many people confuse it now with politics. And, you know, it goes back where people fought for our country and they lost their lives fighting for our freedoms. And I think it's really important that people at least stand and recognize, regardless of their political viewpoints, that they at least stand for the Pledge of Allegiance to show pride in their country and respect for those that laid their life on the line to be able to uphold our freedoms that we have here in the country we get to enjoy.
So when, say, a student doesn't stand up for the pledge, do you think there should be a certain disciplinary action that should be taken?
Well, I have to keep my personal opinions aside because I did fight for our freedoms, and unfortunately, in my opinion, we have to respect that there are people that are still not going to stand, as much as it infuriates me. I think that we still have to allow them that freedom to be able to, because that's a right that we actually fought for. That's one of the freedoms we have here in the U.S.
Definitely.
Is to be able to make that choice, regardless of how I feel about it personally.
All right, well, thank you for the interview, Mrs. Bonneville.
No problem. Thank you.
Hearing others' opinions and thoughts about standing for the pledge has definitely shed some light on why some don't, and confirmed for me that I have a solid opinion. I still believe everyone should stand, if not out of respect for your country, then at least for the men and women of the armed forces who fight for our freedoms and rights.